Hey guys, hi everyone. Thank you very much for joining. So today in this video, we want to discuss the Syrup Maple Vault. We have our guest speakers here who will tell a bit more details about the vault itself, about the strategy and the future of the vault. Maybe just like a quick note here, just as a reminder, this is a research-based video and everything in this video is not investment advice and not an offer to buy or sell securities or investment products. See full disclaimer in the end of the video. And I think I want to give a couple of words to our speakers just to present themselves. Maybe Vadim, you want to start?
Thank you, Robert. My name is Vadim Khramov. I'm CIO and founder of Edge Capital. We've been running a crypto hedge fund for the past 5 years. The team is almost 50 people full time. We manage money for foundations, for funds of funds in the world. Very institutional grade product. So we total across the fund and separate managed accounts and vaults, we managed almost $700 million in assets, primarily institutional capital. So we are the primary curator on the syrupUSDT vault in partnership with Plasma and Maple.
Thank you, Vadim. Martin?
Yes, yeah, great to be here. Thanks everybody for joining. So I'm Martin, head of growth at Maple, responsible for the capital supply, growing our AUM. And it has been a joy to work, with all of our partners here to launch the Plasma Vault. It obviously filled very quickly, and we're excited to give an update on it today and to share with you, the plans that we have for it to continue growing into the future.
Thanks. River?
Hey everyone, I'm River. I'm the DeFi lead at Plasma. I'm super excited by how the vault's picked up traction so far and looking forward to seeing it develop further.
Perfect. Emilio?
Hello, I'm Emilio. I work at TokenLogic and we've been helping Plasma with the whole incentive and ecosystem development. We also have been working for AAVE for the past 2 years as a financial service provider.
Perfect. Thank you guys. And also quick words on me. I'm a head of research at Edge Capital. Would be happy to start this conversation. So probably first question I want to address to Martin. Martin, why don't you just give us a quick perspective and quick overview of the Plasma syrupUSDT vault, basically how it's been performed and what's happening next for the vault.
Yes, yeah, thank you, Robert. So we launched the vault almost 2 months ago at this stage. There was obviously tremendous demand at launch for it. It filled up very quickly, and for us it was really a strategic launch. So we made a very clear bet on Plasma, and we're very excited about the Plasma ecosystem and everything that's happening there. We think it's very differentiated. Really focused on stablecoins and mass consumer adoption. River will obviously give more details in a bit on that. It started with 200 million, and we're now opening capacity to 300 million. Right. So as the ecosystem is growing and as more capacity becomes available on AAVE and Fluid, we've decided to open it up. Post this pre-deposit phase, and the vault is now just becoming a perpetual DeFi vault, where people can get access to syrupUSDT opportunities on Plasma, on AAVE and Fluid. With this 300 million capacity opening, we're also launching on Pendle, and we're launching with a large exchange partner that is yet to be announced. So we're very excited about that as well. And we believe that this is the best risk-adjusted yield in DeFi. And Vadim will speak to that a little bit more.
Perfect. Thank you, Martin. Maybe second question I want to address to Vadim. Vadim, from Edge Capital side, how do you see the performance of the vault up to date? And basically, how do you see the risks and caveats in this vault?
Sure, that's a very good question. And I want to say that, first of all, I think this type of vault is a relatively interesting and unique opportunity in our space. So as some of you guys know my previous background, I spent 15 years in TradFi. The majority of my career was in fixed income instruments, actually. I was doing credit. So this vault has a completely different risk or credit profile from its nature, right? Simply because the underlying asset, this is the core essence. What are we doing in this vault, really, right? So in this vault, we simply deposit an asset with Maple, right, and leveraging. So it's a leveraged credit vault, which is very, very standard in traditional finance, right? There are a few tricks over here. Number one is we leverage it at a very discounted rate, thanks to Plasma and a special arrangement with AAVE. We also have special Plasma subsidies going on top of the vault, right? And number three, we clearly have a very good and strong credit background of Maple running syrupUSDT just as a base asset. So if your natural yield is like 7% roughly, right? So it can be gently levered up further, right, by using cheap borrow cost and also subsidizing the vault. In TradFi, this type of funds, credit funds, are extremely popular, especially in the United States and in Europe, right? They borrow at LIBOR plus 180, plus 200, and size it up. We do exactly the same, but in a fully transparent manner, B, with subsidies of partners, C, with a very clear and very easy liquidity, frankly saying. And I think the beauty of what we do here is this is all collateralized credit. This is extremely important. What Maple has been doing in their career with a few $1 billion of TVL, this is an over collateralized credit, over collateralized by Bitcoin, effectively by Bitcoin, by super liquid assets that can be basically liquidated or sold anytime. That gives you a lot of, I would say, confidence in the sense that the risk profile of this vault is very low, right? So we ourselves are probably one of the largest investors in the vault. So we have full alignment of interest with other investors, right, that put money in this vault. It's effectively leveraged credit with subsidized rates plus extra yield that is provided by Plasma. This vault was launched about 2 months ago. So assets have been clearly, like, we slowly deployed it over time. We took capacity on AAVE and other platforms to size up our leverage in it. We also, so this vault is also getting incentive from Plasma directly to users. So natural yield over the past 2 months have been roughly about 12% realized, with about 10% native and extra 2% in XPL rewards coming on top of this. So now the vault is fully deployed. So we actually expect this vault should generally generate somewhere in the range like 14 to 18%, depends on market conditions, right? So if borrow rate goes up, it will generate less, right? If borrow rates subsidized go down, it will generate more. Clearly, there are 3 blocks here. One is cost of borrow, additional subsidy and incentives coming from Plasma, and also the fees that are charged by the vault. So starting from the unlock period, in the next couple of days, these fees will be cut. Our intent here is to size this vault materially further, because we think in the current environment, it gives us very, I would say, interesting risk-reward profile in terms of where the assets can be deployed, right? When basis is very low, other things are not generating yield. This vault is fully over-collateralized, generating you double-digit yields, which we frankly think it will generate more if borrow rates are now getting slightly lower when more capital comes in. So from the risk perspective, we like it. We like it ourselves as investors. From the transparency perspective, it's also very clear and transparent. You can see everything on chain because assets are bridged to Plasma, and you pretty much see all our positions, right? We also, Plasma is distributing additional yield through the Merkle tree directly to users. So we're not charging fees on this because it's direct subsidy to users. So overall, it gives you an interesting opportunity to size up. And luckily now we're opening capacity up, right? So we think that in the current environment, this is extremely low risk profile in terms of what we do. What are the overall risks? Maybe to mention it towards the end. Well, first one is clearly we have smart contract risk on lending protocol. This is just part of the business, so that's what we use. The second, so assets within Maple, they clearly over-collateralized also. So this is not just lending. This is fully over-collateralized by liquid assets. In this respect, Martin will talk about it maybe a little bit later in terms of how the Oracle prices are working and how the assets are priced. But there's no liquidation risk within AAVE, for example, either. So that gives you a lot of comfort deploying substantial amount of capital in it.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you very much, Vadim. River, I think the next question would be addressed to you. I think our viewers would be really interested hearing your thoughts around the Plasma ecosystem and basically how it evolves and what will be happening next for the whole chain.
So Plasma ecosystem is about two months old at this point. We had a good first month. Things are like getting a bit leaner. We're getting more focused. We're paying more attention to essentially providing an environment whereby yield-bearing stablecoins will always be able to be like traded profitably. We do this by first selecting good collateral such as syrupUSDT, but also making sure that the borrow rate is very, very competitive across the entire space, so that these profitable trades at good sizes are relatively stable. Using AAVE to do that is one of our edges. We also like to use Fluid to get that done. If you want to go a little bit further out on the risk curve, we can also use Euler thanks to their unique architecture, but you want to make sure that you're monitoring the risks there. In the coming months, we're going to start onboarding a variety of different neobanks, but the one that we're developing ourselves is something called Plasma One. Our aim there is to connect a very reliable and relatively APR insensitive source of lend to assets such as syrupUSDT to make sure that these trades remain really, really competitive at really, really large sizes, and kind of connecting different sides of the trade is our broad go-to-market strategy effectively for DeFi. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you very much, River. Great. I think, Emilio, I think our viewers would really want to hear your thoughts around how AAVE has been performing on Plasma, and how do you see basically the lending market environment within Plasma chain, and maybe a couple words around like how do you see syrupUSDT being performing as collateral on Plasma being listed on AAVE.
So for AAVE and Plasma, it's been quite a great love story from the start. It's been the second biggest deployment that AAVE has ever seen. It went to above 5, even 6 billion TVL, I think. And now it calmed down a bit. But during those 7 weeks, we onboarded syrupUSDT about I think it was 3 to 4 weeks ago. Martin, you can check, and we already have almost 300 million we have 330 million of deposit, mainly through the Edge Vault. And why we onboarded and why we really like that the syrupUSDT as collateral is first because the Maple team has been growing tremendously for the last few years, and by structure, syrupUSDT is a great collateral asset because the yield comes from fixed term loan. Fixed term loan usually pays more or have higher rates than market driven borrowing cost, and so by design, the Maple rates and AAVE cost of capital, there's always going to be a positive spread between the two. By doing so, we, as AAVE makes money on the borrow side, on the borrow volume, it's a great product because we can see this strategy as a set and forget. Basically, collateral keeps is yield bearing and keeps on increasing in value. The debt, thanks to AAVE liquidity, shouldn't spike and keep the loop in the positive realm. And with the leverage up to 10x, we can have a great loop delivering double digits APYs. And finally, the best way to do so is through an edge vault because it's much easier to, as it's a set and forget strategy, it's even better when someone else does it for you. You just get in the caps, you get into the vaults, edge manages the collateral and borrow costs for you, and you don't have to ever be scared about what happened with your collateral. So that's why there are great chemistries across the core ecosystem, I would say, both Plasma, Maple, Edge, and AAVE. We are very happy to have. It's much easier for AAVE to have huge LPs where we can coordinate everything together, and so Edge is doing a great job at that. It's been easy to work with.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Emilio. I think the next question has been like the most intriguing for the most of the users, and especially for the users who's already been a supplier into the vault. I'll address it to Vadim. Basically, how do you see the performance of the vault looking ahead? If you could just like give a couple quick comments on that.
Definitely, right. So first of all, the way it works, right? There is no magic in terms of generating double-digit yields in this vault. We don't expect anything above 20%. So we typically tell people the range should be like 10 to 20, right? Targeted like 14 to 18 within this range. It's really dependent on borrow rates, on TVL of the vault, on capacity on AAVE, on multiple factors, right? So we're clearly doing our best to maximize the yield, reduce collateral drag, maximize the taking the capacity when it opens up, and so on. Also, clearly, there is a subsidy coming from Plasma Chain that is supporting the vault, and the fees will be also reduced. All this combined puts you in mid-teens, roughly saying, in terms of the APR, right? When natural yield is in single digits, it's a leveraged credit vault, as Emilio reiterated, right? With very low structural risk in it by its nature. That's why a combination of these factors allows us to generate a relatively stable yield in a very conservative manner. That's why we like it ourselves, right? So as I said, we like the structure of the vault from the risk profile. We think it's liquid, very straightforward. We clearly know we manage the risk ourselves, right? In this vault, we understand the infrastructure. We clearly understand what Plasma is doing on their side by building the system. So the goal of this vault is to grow materially, right? So there are a few big institutional names already invested in the vault. We attracted $200 million within a matter of minutes, pretty much, when the vault was launched. I hope that once we increase capacity in this vault, there will be some outflows naturally, right? Because it was 2 months initial lockup. But we do have a lot of interest of people coming in, and I think going forward, this is an extremely interesting yield-bearing opportunity that has a natural structural yield with structurally very, very low risk. And number 3 is fully transparent. So you can see everything on chain. If you guys have any questions, people can reach out to us directly. We're happy to jump on Zoom call, walk you guys through, right? It's absolutely our intent to align the interests, to be clear what we're doing in the vault, that we are not making up some APY numbers. That's why we're giving a range, right? And it's very transparent in the sense that we know where the yield is coming from, right? It's over-collateralized lending, which is very, very clear in terms of its risk profile data. So I'm very optimistic.
Wonderful, very insightful, Vadim. Yeah, great. I think I want to ask Martin, like basically because the vault has a large exposure, looped exposure to syrupUSDT. I think that would be very great for the viewers to understand basically how syrupUSDT is backed, and like basically the collateral structure within Maple.
Excellent question, and very, very important. Obviously, so Maple is specialized in over-collateralized institutional lending, right? So we issue loans to large institutional borrowers, and to be precise, 90.6% of the collateral is Bitcoin collateral, right? That is native Bitcoin, held in custody, obviously very, deeply liquid, right? So we're very conservative in the collateral that we accept, which makes it a very attractive risk profile. All of these details are on the application, right? So if you go to app.maple.finance/earn, and you go to the details page, you'll actually see all the collateral, you can see all the addresses, and you can verify everything for yourself. On top of that, to Emil's point earlier, is that because they're institutional loans and there's some duration to it, there's a rate premium to money market rates, right? So it's essentially a similar type product. Both are over collateralized, but because there's some rate premium there, because those are fixed rate loans, and we have higher utilization, it creates a rate premium, which makes it a very attractive looping product, right? Arguably the most attractive and the best risk adjusted one. And then Plasma is a great ecosystem because it has access to a very attractive cost of capital, right? On the AAVE instance and also on the Fluid instance. And the best way to get access to that, in fact, the only way to get access to it is through the vault, right? Because once the caps open, they're instantly hit on AAVE. So if you want to get access to it, the best way is through the vault.
Wonderful. River, probably I think viewers would really want to understand what from the Plasma perspective, what assets are you looking for in the chain, and why do you think syrupUSDT Vault is a good fit for the chain overall?
So at Plasma, we're always looking for kind of competitive, scalable sources of yield that can comfortably drive up our utilization rates across all of our ecosystem lending markets at really large scale. With this in mind, there are many assets that can, drive utilization up into the low 9 figures, maybe mid 9 figures, but to really push it beyond that, you don't have so many options, and this is why we're so excited about Syrup specifically on Plasma, because it has that scalability and it has that really attractive yield profile that will not decay with scale. And so this is one of the main reasons why we're so kind of enthused by the current growth of this vault and how it uses taking advantage of Edge's expertise and the yield profile offered by this vault at the same time as our lower cost of capital, as we keep reiterating. It's a vault that we are super excited to see continue to grow, and one that we will continue to place focus on. As far as the next, 6 months of Plasma DeFi will look, essentially we're looking to consolidate the good growth that we've already seen and just keep growing at a continual and measured rate, even as market conditions continue to be extremely volatile, with Bitcoin below 100 right now, and Athena yields and other assets fluctuating wildly, and some weeks it can be very, very attractive, some weeks it can't be. The beauty of Syrup itself is just consistently incredible and just really reliable yield return profile, and that's why we care about it so much at Plasma. Yeah.
And to add on that, as Raver just said, one of the predictability and of Syrup and Maple allows to increase the utilization rate, and by doing that, Plasma becomes a better place than other chains to lend USDT, and so AAVE and Fluid benefits from that, and that's Plasma ecosystem winning. It just lifts all the boats to have a predictable, high yield, and safe collateral being used that way.
Perfect. Thank you very much, guys. I think it's been very fruitful conversation overall, and I want to thank all the speakers here for explaining their thoughts. It's been overall very productive. Probably, Martin, I want to give you a couple words to wrap up this call?
Yeah. Thanks everybody for joining, first of all, and listening to this. We're very excited about the Vault. We're very excited about the partnerships, with everybody here on the call, and we're looking forward to grow it. We believe this is the best risk-adjusted yield right now available in DeFi. For all the reasons that we explained. There's exclusive rewards. It's very easy to access. There's more utility coming, right, with the bundle listing and other things. So any questions can be addressed to all of us. We're always happy to go through. And we're excited to keep growing this and keep growing the partnership together.
Excellent.
Perfect.
Thanks everybody.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you,
Bye.
team. Ciao.
Thank you.